What if the monster didn't need to break into your home because you already invited him inside? Tonight's story will make you think twice about who you welcome. Before we begin, if you enjoy chilling horror stories and unsettling mysteries, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next nightmare. For 31 nights, the city of Blackridge did not sleep. It began with the pigeons every morning. They were found scattered across the courthouse steps. No blood, no wounds, just hollowed somehow, as if something had reached inside and removed what made them alive. Then came the stray dogs. Then, on the 8th night, a man named Arthur Bell vanished after leaving his office late. They found him at dawn in the alley behind his apartment, standing upright, smiling, dead. There were no punctures on his neck, no torn flesh, just 2 faint bruises beneath his jaw and an expression of terrible, blissful surrender. That was when the rumors started. The news anchors tried to keep their voices steady as they warned citizens to stay indoors after sunset. Doors were bolted, windows boarded, churches filled. Garlic disappeared from grocery shelves. The word vampire was whispered at first, then spoken aloud. Witnesses claimed to see a tall figure crossing rooftops, coat flaring like wings. Others swore they glimpsed pale fingers tapping at their bedroom windows around 3:13 a.m. every night. But the strangest part? No one ever reported broken locks. No forced entries. Nothing shattered. Whoever or whatever was doing this never needed to break in. He was invited. His name, as the city would learn, was Lucien Vale. He arrived in Blackridge a month before the deaths began, purchasing the abandoned Harker Hotel at the center of town. He was charming, articulate, impossibly refined. He donated to hospitals, funded after-school programs, attended city council meetings, and spoke of revitalizing the nightlife. People adored him. They said his eyes were mesmerizing, dark and deep like polished obsidian. When he smiled, it felt like being chosen. It was Mayor Whitcomb who first noticed the pattern. Every victim had attended one of Lucien's public gatherings, art exhibits, charity galas, evening concerts hosted in the renovated ballroom of the Harker Hotel, and every event ended the same way. Lucien would lift a crystal glass and say, "Warmly, thank you for welcoming me into your beautiful city." The crowd would laugh and raise their own glasses. "You're always welcome here." Someone would inevitably shout that the mayor remembered saying it himself. At the 20th night, the deaths were no longer quiet. Entire families were found seated at their dinner tables, untouched meals before them, their faces slack with peaceful horror. No blood, no struggle, just emptiness. The city panicked. Curfews became mandatory. Police patrolled every block. But patrolmen started disappearing too. Mayor Whitcomb returned to his office one night long after sunset, reviewing security footage from the Harker Hotel. That's when he saw it. Lucien, gliding through the ballroom after guests had left. The chandeliers dimmed. The air seemed to bend around him, and then the shadows peeled away from the walls. They moved like smoke, stretching toward him. He opened his mouth, not wide, but impossibly deep, and the shadows poured inside. The footage got corrupted. The next morning, 3 of the event attendees were dead. Whitcomb didn't understand at first until he did. Lucien wasn't drinking blood. He was feeding on invitation, on permission, on surrender. Every time someone welcomed him into their city, their home, their hearts, something ancient and monstrous gained entry. He didn't need to cross thresholds. They were opening themselves. The mayor gathered the remaining council members and a handful of clergy. They devised a desperate plan. At noon the next day, Whitcomb called for a citywide emergency broadcast. Lucien stood beside him, pale and elegant, hands folded neatly. Whitcomb forced a smile. "Citizens of Blackridge," he began, voice trembling, "we must revoke something we gave too freely. Lucien's eyes flickered. We welcomed a guest, Whitcomb continued. We opened our doors, our homes, our city. Lucien's expression tightened, almost imperceptibly. And now, Whitcomb said, voice rising, we withdraw that welcome. Across the city, church bells began to ring. Every radio, every television, every phone carried the same message. You are not welcome here. Lucien stepped back. The chandeliers above them trembled. Whitcomb faced him directly. You were invited. That was your secret, wasn't it? You cannot enter without consent. You cannot feed without surrender. Lucien's smile faltered for the first time. You misunderstand, he said softly. I did not force anyone. They wanted me. The shadows around him flickered uncertain outside. Thousands of voices began to chant, repeating the words broadcast across the city. You are not welcome. You are not welcome. You are not welcome. Lucien staggered. The air thickened, pressing against him like invisible hands. The polished marble floor beneath his feet cracked as something unseen pulled him downward. You cannot uninvite me, he hissed, voice splitting into something older, deeper. You asked me in, and we're asking you to leave, Whitcomb said. The church bells grew deafening sunlight, amplified by mirrors positioned on surrounding rooftops, poured through the tall courthouse windows in blinding sheets of gold. Lucien screamed, not in pain at first, but in disbelief. His shadow tore free from his feet and tried to flee across the wall. But the light pinned it there. For the first time, his true form surfaced thin, stretched, wrong. Not fanged and feral, but hollow. A silhouette shaped like a man with nothing inside. The light burned brighter. The chanting grew louder. Lucien's body began to fracture, not bleeding, not melting, but breaking apart like ash held together by memory. You begged for me? He whispered, voice crumbling. Yes, Whitcomb replied. And that was our mistake. With one final, echoing shriek that seemed to shake the foundations of the city. Lucien Vale collapsed into a column of black dust that scattered. In the noon sun, the shadow on the wall burned away last. Blackridge slept that night for the first time in a month, but the mayor never. Forgot the look on Lucien's face. Not rage, not hunger, but disappointment as if the city had broken a promise. And sometimes, just before dawn, and the sky turns the same color as old bruises, Whitcomb swears he hears a voice carried on the wind. Invite me back. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to subscribe for more eerie tales and analog horror. New horrors await, and you won't want to face them alone.